Hey everybody, welcome to Cali Girl Blog Talk. I'm Callie. Thank you for joining me. And today I will review The Real Housewives of Potomac Season 7, Episode 1, Spring Awakening. All right, so let's get to it. So we start off this first episode of the new season with Karen and Giselle, who they're having a picnic under the cherry blossoms, okay, which is, different because we all know that history shows that Karen and Giselle, they have an off and on, up and down relationship. You look at past reunions, past seasons, but we also know that they always come back together and then they fall out yet again. Anyway, it turns out that some of the other ladies will be joining, including Ashley. And Karen was like, well, she moving a little slow. And Giselle is like, is she? Because according to TikTok, honey, she is doing good. Karen said, I actually think TikTok has been Ashley's therapy, because she did mention that she's going through a divorce, right? And Giselle was like, yup. And Karen is like, I'm trying to figure out how did we get here, as far as them getting a divorce. And Giselle was like, girl, we are talking about Michael Darby, so I don't think there's a question of how we got there. In her confessional, Giselle said Ashley called her and said, her and Michael are getting a divorce. And she said, was she shocked? No. Giselle said Michael has been out there doing his thing, and we have seen him doing so in previous episodes. Giselle said, you know what? But I do hate that Ashley is going through that because she loves Ashley. So the third person to arrive is Robin, followed by Ashley, who is walking up as they are speaking about how they want to be supportive to Ashley while she's going through this situation in her life. So they having a little fun girl chit chat, eating the fruit or whatever. They're asking Karen how Ray is doing. She's like, he's fine. He's a little bit of a handful, but I am 17 years younger. Giselle poking fun was like, 2 years ago was 14 years younger. And Karen was like, no, I know dang well. I said I was 17 years younger. I've always been 17 years younger, girl. Ain't nobody trying to switch that up. Karen said, I'm not the one with the math problem. I think you got me confused with Mia. Child, they flash back to the previous season when Mia couldn't figure out or compute how many years younger she was than her husband. 32, 16, 12, 15. What? Speaking of Mia, I don't know. I think it was Giselle who said, I'm confused with Mia, on various levels. And then Robin was like, yeah, what is this thing that she's doing on social media talking about her health? Robin said the post was vague in regards to her cancer scare. And Ashley said, I didn't think it was vague at all. I thought she said, for sure, like explicitly, she has cancer. Robin said she reached out to her, said she was praying for her, sending her well wishes. And then not long after, Mia came out with a follow-up post saying, no cancer, but she is still testing, and she will be going through the procedure of having the 2 lumps removed for a biopsy. Robin is like, okay, so you sick, you're not sick. And I'm like, well, maybe she did get the scare. It does happen. They do misdiagnose. Okay. And if they want to, do a biopsy to further test and make sure, why is it so questionable? Anyway, they believe that she's attention seeking because she wasn't certain. It wasn't for a fact that she had cancer. It was, I guess, more of a possibility, and she ran to the blogs with it. I don't know why she did that. I have no idea, but I'm not here to judge her about it. Giselle says, who plays with cancer? I'm like, is the girl playing? Are they going in a little rough? I don't know. Maybe it's me. I'm just like, you already know, honey, when Giselle gets a hair up her, you know what? She ain't letting it go. She ain't letting it go until she get to the bottom of it. In her confessional, Giselle said, are you sick or not sick? Make it make truth. I said, not truth. Robin, in her confessional, said, don't put that out there unless you know for sure. Unless you're sure about it, don't put that out there like that. I can see that. Go to your family, go to your friends, privately or what have you, ask for prayers because, of this potential situation, but not necessarily running to the blog. So I'm not really sure why Mia did that. But again, I'm not here to judge her. That's how she moved and whatever. Karen, trying to be somewhat rational, she said, okay, Giselle, you're saying that the fact that Mia went to social media about it, that's weird, but I will say that it's different. But I think saying that it's weird is a little bit judgmental, and I think we need to hear her out. I agree. Ashley said, well, her past, it did, take away from her credibility. And Giselle was like, she lied on me. I'm like, girl, I know you ain't out here calling nobody a liar. I know you ain't out here calling nobody a liar, Giselle. Girl, Mince your words. But we do know that Mia will state the narrative using words that weren't said, but using words that are like what she believes is synonymous with what was said. Okay, but when you're relaying a message, you need to relay the actual factual, not what you assume, not what you concluded. You know what I mean? Because what you concluded may be incorrect, and it was. Karen said, well, I don't play with fake, cries for help, and, seeking attention. She said, and I don't believe that that's, what this was. It better not be. In her confessional, Karen said, I wouldn't have went to Instagram. I personally would have went to Jesus. Yeah, me too, first thing. But everybody is different. Everybody don't go to Jesus, for one. The conversation then switches to Ashley. Giselle said, Ashley, I want you to know that I'm concerned about you. I also want you to know that I shared your, going through a divorce situation with Robin. Karen already knows. And Ashley confirmed, yep, it's true. We're getting a divorce. Karen said, how did you get here? How did you guys end up in two different directions after just having a baby? And the first thing Ashley said was, well, I don't drink. And I was like, what? And then Giselle was like, so are you saying the fact that you don't drink, you're moving in two different directions? Ashley said, that's just one example. Another example is the fact that we are not as sexually compatible as we once were. She said, it's been about 4 months. I'm like, ooh, I guess when you were drinking all that time when you were married, you were in a fog. She also explained that, there was a situation that happened when they were on vacation, and it was a potential suitor that was interested in Ashley, a female. Ashley wasn't interested, but Michael was. So again, what was okay is no longer okay with Ashley. She said after having her sons, in her confessional, she says she wants monogamy. She's no longer interested in being the party girl, the party wife, and, opening up the doors, opening up the floodgates of the bedroom. She wants monogamy. And you know what? She has a right to change. Everybody has a right to wake up and say, you know what? This is not working for me. And unfortunately, in cases that involve unions, such as a marriage, that can be very impactful, change everything. As such, we're talking about now, they're going through a divorce. She says she communicated that to him, and she believes that he heard not right now instead of no, like no, period, permanent. I don't want to do this. He heard, oh, just not right now. He heard what he wanted to hear, basically selective hearing. But what's crazy is even though they're going through a divorce, they are buying a home together. Ashley is like, I'm more on the lower side trying to buy a home, and Michael is trying to be on the higher side, and they're buying the home under their LLC. Interesting divorce. So now all the ladies are questioning her like, wait a minute, girl, this is not a divorce. What are you doing? A divorce is like done, finito, goodbye. Like we have no business dealings going forward, right? That's what the courts are there for, to help settle all of that, divide it, and we move on. Karen said, well, you know what, girl, at the end of the day, divorce is not easy, okay? People do whatever they need to do. And when he start pulling them bones out your closet, you better make sure you throw the whole damn skeleton at him, because they don't play fair when it comes to divorce. Ashley, however, believes that her divorce will be more amicable. She believes that now, but she did say, as it becomes more real to Michael, he could become vengeful. I can see it. Karen says, you know what? At this time, let's focus on springing forward, spring into new relationships, spring into forgiveness. Therefore, she's going to have a spring into spring party. So next we go over with Candace and Chris. Okay, she's at a doctor's appointment and she has decided to freeze her egg. She says she cannot put it off any longer. Now is the time. So for 2 weeks, she's going to take injections because they suggest that she has multiple sessions to ensure that she does produce enough eggs, because they might not get enough, the first go around or what have you. And so in her confessional, the producer said, why have you decided now to freeze your eggs? She was like, now or never, honey, because if I wait, I'm gonna end up having 2 eggs and no kids. She said right now her cup is running over. She said she's planning for the re-release of her album Deep Space. Her tour just ended and she opened for SWV and Faith Evans. Go girl. Therefore, she can't stop at this moment. The doctor says, okay, but while we're doing the routine, you're going to have to do this for 2 weeks straight. You cannot, miss appointments and things like that. And Candace is looking at Chris and she's like, you know what? I don't know how you're going to do this with your schedule. Chris is like, oh, here we go with the schedule thing again. And Candace is like, you're going to need to be consistent. I'm going to need you to be available the same day every week. Everything was cool when he was working from home, but now he is working as a general manager at a hotel in Washington. So the schedule has changed yet again. So they leave the doctor's office. They're in the car. Okay. And Candace is like, so how do you feel about helping me with the injections? He's like, I'm on board with it. And she said, okay, but I don't like your current work-life balance. She's concerned about the way he prioritizes. He says, I'm working on it. And she said, it looking at how, you're managing your current schedule is making me concerned, like saying, well, how would it be if I did have kids running around? She said, I don't know what time you're coming home because I guess according to his work shift, sometimes he's working till 1 a.m., but a hotel is 24 hours a day. So, and you're a general manager, you have a lot of responsibility. You might not can just, work a 9 to 5 and that be that. And he was like, look, everything in life is not consistent. You're going to need to get over that. I agree to a certain extent. He said, look at the industry you're in. It's not consistent. She didn't have no words. He was like, if they book an event for 500 people, I got to be there. She's like, if you cuss at me one more time. He was like, you don't listen. And that pisses me off. She said, me listening is not the problem. Okay. I hear what you're saying. He was like, oh, so what is it then? You hear me, but you don't care? She said, I don't care because you're not consistent. And I'm like, what? She just went on tour. She's getting ready to re-release her album. You're in the music industry. I know for a fact that their schedule is not consistent, but you're all over him about being a general manager and his work life not being consistent. I'm confused. She sound, I'm going to hold my thoughts because I'm going to wait until we get further into the season. This is just the first episode. Next, we see Robin and she is meeting with Charisse. They jump to Robin, okay, the $1 million question. When is the day? When is the date of the nuptials, honey? So although he asked her again to marry him 2 years ago, Robin says, we don't have a date and we don't have plans. We're just going to figure it out. Isn't that what they've been doing all this time? Just figuring it out? Who? It ain't me, child. It ain't my relationship. Is it working for them? I guess. In her confessional, the producer said, do you even want to be married? And Robin says, so I believe we should be married. I said, should and want, those are two different answers to the same question. She said, I believe we should be married. So, what was the question again? I'm like, ooh, girl. It don't sound like you want to get married. It sounds like, you know what? You are over it. Wow. Charisse was like, but girl, you can get married this weekend if you wanted to. And Robin was like, yeah, but you know what? I want to get your opinion before I do walk down the aisle. I want to talk to Juan about getting a prenup. Ooh, not a prenup. Wait a minute. It was because of you that y'all lost all that money. All that money that he made during his basketball career. Now that money is in place, girl, you want a prenup? Now that you guys are, somewhat, financially back on your feet, even if you're not back at the place that you were, you got a little change in the bank. Now you want to talk prenup? Ooh, is this out of the protection for both you and him so that you won't cause him to lose all of his money and vice versa with bad business deals? Or are you watching your bag? Robin said, we signed a prenup during our first marriage, but this time the roles are reversed, honey, because I'm the breadwinner. Ooh. And the fact that she is the breadwinner, she doesn't want Juan to take it the wrong way. Now, seeing how Juan has conducted himself in previous episodes and seasons, I can see him taking it the wrong way. I really can, because the way he took it when she was saying, you keep pressuring me about having another baby, but you wasn't there for me with the 2 boys. Okay. But you want to have this, new baby. And I'm concerned. I need you to be there. And, we all know what happened when she was talking to him about that. It was like impossible to have a real sensible, logical conversation with him without him getting upset and taking offense. Robin said, look, in a divorce, I don't believe that just because a person makes less money that they should automatically get half. Sharice said, why, girl? And Robin said, because they didn't earn that half. Sharice said, so you think I didn't earn half? And Robin said, no, you didn't. And Sharice was like, are you kidding me? And Robin said, no. Robin said, if I'm the breadwinner, you think Juan deserves half? And Sharice swallowed for a minute and then said, yeah, I do. That swallow was a pause to me to indicate, well, girl, now wait a minute now. I don't know if I'm saying all that. Robin says, speaking of divorces, Ashley shared with us that she's divorcing Michael. He wanted to live the lifestyle that they lived before, where, you know, they was into threesomes and everything. And Ashley's not into that anymore. So they're getting a divorce. However, they are looking at houses together. Sharice was like, no, 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 no. See, I don't believe that. Because when you get a divorce, you're done. Sharice said, girl, I don't know, honey. Maybe she's seeking attention. Maybe she wants attention from you guys. Robin said, girl, she get her attention from her TikToks. So next we see Mia with her husband, Gordon. They have a new home in Potomac. I didn't even know that she didn't live in Potomac. I wasn't really paying attention, or I don't know if they focused on it last season, but she has a new home and she's having a little get together. Her family is coming over, her mom and her siblings, things like that. And she moved basically down the street from Karen. She said they're neighbors. The house looks nice. They are not buying, they are renting. Hey, whatever, girl, that's your choice. I have no problem with it. I'm just glad that you not fronting, claiming you buying, and then come to find out you renting. Girl, keep it real, girl. Don't nobody care. That's your house, your money. You do with it what you choose. You know what I mean? So everybody shows up. Her mom shows up, and it's good to see her. Good to see that they are still in each other's lives. Although in her confessional, Mia said, you know, our relationship is like a wild roller coaster ride. She's indicating that it's up and down. Her mother, they're off to the side in the kitchen, and she said, she asked Mia, have you heard anything in regard to the results? And Mia said, well, yeah, I did. So it's a disease. She did the quotes. So I don't know why she did the quotes when she said disease, but whatever. She said they have to, do further testing and, determine and confirm that it's not in her lungs. So whatever is going on with her, I guess they have to make sure it's not spreading. She did have her biopsy done, and so she's going to have her stitches removed. And so what they're focusing on again is just making sure that it's not spreading. She says she's been scared. Gordon's been scared, Her mom said, we're going to get through it, going to stand strong. Next thing you know, we see Karen and Ray. So they get inside, and they're doing the hugs and everything. And Mia is admiring the work done. The work done. Mia is admiring the work that Karen had done. Okay, she got some enhancements on the boobs, and she's like, they are Tiff and Fee. Okay, but they're still swollen. So wait a minute. She had implants. She got them taken out, but she did a fat transfer. Okay, so she got them pushed up a little bit more plump with a little bit of her own fat, and one is called Tiff, the other one is Fee. Okay, girl. So they sit down and Karen says, first thing I want to ask you, is there anything that you need? How are you? And Mia was like, what, this makes me happy, having family all around. I don't need anything, at this time. And Karen was like, okay, because I just want to be honest, the first post, it was a scare. And Mia said, the reason why she took it to social media is because, at that time she had a conversation with her close friend, Jacqueline, and they were basically talking about, hey, making arrangements. Like, girl, if something happens to you, I will take care of your kids, is what her friend told her. And her friend said, be honest with your highlight reel, because that's what social media is, a highlight reel. I don't necessarily think that if you kept that private, it meant that you weren't being honest. You don't have to be forthcoming about something like that, and someone would then accuse you of being dishonest. So I don't know if those were the right words to use, because who was asking Mia, did she have cancer? Nobody. Karen said, I probably would have taken another route, because there's always going to be naysayers, especially in this group, okay, because they question everything. And they do. So on the flip side, you don't have to make your moves based on these women. You know what I mean? Do whatever you feel is comfortable for you. Because in a lot of cases, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't when it comes to certain people, especially the women in that group. So next we see Wendy. Okay, she has a meeting with Peter Thomas at his bar 1. All right. She's meeting with him because she is interested in opening a lounge of her own And she referenced it as a Nigerian lounge. She said, although she has no knowledge of the hospitality industry, she does have a vision. And so she wants to work this thing out with Peter. She did clear it up though. Okay. She said, I did not approach Peter, okay, about a restaurant. Peter overheard a conversation that she had with someone else, and he therefore approached her. So let the history books show. So her not having any knowledge of the hospitality industry and you wanting to open a bar, a lounge, she says, she wants to apply some of her education. So how come, the lounge can't include books? I was like, books? Girl, who is about to party, have drinks, and then sit down and read history books? And have the bar be open to children between the hours of 2 p.m. and 4 p.m. He's sipping on his Casamigos. He said, it doesn't work like that. It don't work like that. He said, that ain't a lounge, baby. She said, yeah. He said, no, ain't no grown-ups trying to be around no kids as they getting lit, girl. What? He said, it will definitely work if it's done the right way, and I'm going to put up my money. He said he has a location, Arbor Point or Harbor Point. I don't know, but he said that it's the best zip code in Baltimore. They've already reached out to him with the letter of intent to do business. It's going to be 1.5 million, and if you put up your 20% for ownership, that's going to cost you 300,000. She jerks her head back like she herself didn't know what she was getting into, and I was like, girl, what is Eddie going to say? Because he was already talking about the candle business last season. In her confessional, she said, ooh, me and Eddie, we share the finances, so he's going to have to sign off on this. He assured her, don't expect to see a return on your investment for at least 18 to 22 months. Peter said, how does your husband feel about the restaurant business, partaking in it? And she said, he wants no parts. And they show, her out to dinner with her husband. And she said, there's something in me that always wants to do more. I could understand that. But sometimes too, I say it is a good and a bad side to that because, when you have this drive and urge to just grow and develop, I want to do the next thing. What's next? That's how I am. You end up finding yourself in a place where it's hard for you to be content because you're always looking for the next thing. It's cool to let your floor become your ceiling and then let that floor become your ceiling, but you also have to know when you're possibly taking on too much. You know what I'm saying? Space it out. Okay. Peter said, well, you got time to go home and convince your husband that this is what you want, so you better go home and make it happen, girl. You know what you got to do. Next, we see Ashley. She's visiting her family, her mom, her brother, and I believe that's her sister that she's visiting as well. So, they're sitting down, they're getting ready to have dinner, and her brother was like, so, with you guys going through this divorce, are you concerned, that he's going to be there? And Ashley was like, I do have my concerns, she said, because Mom, I watch you struggle. She did say that their initial prenup said that she wouldn't get any alimony. And then that changed, with them being married for 5 years, the money would look like this or that. However, they have been married for going on 8 years. So the prenup is not valid and theoretically she would get half. Her brother said, well, do you have a lawyer? Have you hired a lawyer? She said, I have not. He said, why not? She said, well, we've talked about sitting down and, going over a proposal. He said, and who's writing it? She said, well, Michael. Her brother looks perplexed, like, wait a minute. And I'm like, wait a minute. Is this for real or is this your storyline for the season? Because it ain't making sense, boo. Like Giselle said, make it make truth. Her mother said, okay, so is his name going to be on the house? Ashley said, well, not on the house, but we are starting a business and the house is going to be under the LLC. And her mother said, I don't even know what's going on right now. Like, I don't even know what's going on. Me neither. Her brother said, you're getting a divorce, you're starting an LLC, you're creating a business, you're having a house with his name. What kind of life are you living? Are you getting a divorce or are you starting a business? She said, Ashley said, I have made it very clear that I am just starting this process. Her brother said, that's why you need somebody, that knows what they're doing, give you some legal advice. Because I'm sitting here like, girl, Michael is going to be lawyered up. You keep smiling and eating crackers like it's a joke, like it's a game. I'm confused, but maybe that's how you want us to be because that's going to carry you along through the season. Next, we're at Giselle's home. She said that her house is finally coming together. They flash back to last year. She bought a home that was sort of a fixer upper. She was still working on it. So she says it's finally coming together. And I must admit, it is coming together. It looks nice. So we see her twin girls, Angel and Adore. They are so cute. They just growing up. Anyway, she's going over her outfit choices with them. As we've seen her do in the past, she's getting ready to go to Karen's party. So they get the official Karen invite, and it is a box filled with little tacos and tequila. Giselle is reading the invitation, and it says, "No fits, no fights, no feuds, and no egos, amigos." It's cute. So we see Karen. She arrives at the event, and her setup is cute. It's very springy, very pastel-y, very soft. It's cute. She's celebrating the fact that they made it through the pandemic, so it is a celebration of life is what she's referring to it as. And she's also turning 59, so she's in full celebration mode. So the ladies are showing up, the party is filling out. So Karen and Giselle, they take a seat. They having the chit chat, little girlfriend chit chat or whatever. She's saying, how are you, Giselle, gonna handle being an empty nester? Because Grace is getting ready to go to college soon. You got your twins are, 16. How are you gonna handle that? Giselle was like, I'm gonna cry and then I'm gonna get a boo that I'm gonna be with all the time. Speaking of boos, let's talk about Ashley. Giselle said, I think she lying. Giselle said, girl, when you get a divorce, you call an attorney. You start there. Karen said, I don't think she wants a divorce. She said, Ashley is a smart girl. She wants a house. Michael wants to stay in Concrete City. A high rise apartment. There's no room for the kids. Giselle said, so you think this is her way of getting a house? And Karen said, I think this is a way for Ashley to get many of the things that she wants. I think Ashley has learned how to play the game. That might be why she always smiling when she's describing, talking about her situation. She always has this smirk with no answers. Ashley then arrives. Karen was honest and said, girl, we was just talking about you. And honey, Ashley comes out of that jacket. And if she is lying about a divorce, she's not dressing like she's lying. She's dressing like she's having a coming out party. Cute dress. With an inquisitive eye, Giselle said, how you feeling these days? And Ashley said, well, I'm still going through it. She said, I found a house. Karen and Giselle said, that was quick. That was super quick. Karen said, okay, so did you make it in the LLC by yourself? And Ashley said, no, we made it with the LLC, but I did it with Michael. Karen said, this is not no damn divorce. Giselle said, you did say you were getting a divorce. Ashley then said, I said I was separating. Hold up, wait a minute. Pump the brakes. What, girl? We gonna play this game? Like everybody that was sitting there has a hearing problem. Like you said separation and everybody else said divorce. Girl. They rolled the tape back where Giselle said, you and Michael are getting a divorce. Ashley said, that is true. Now Ashley want to play with the words and gonna say, how can I get a divorce, Giselle, when I'm not even separated? Karen said, we all interpreted a divorce and you didn't have to interpret it because she kept saying, yeah, when the question was asked. Giselle said, I'm sorry, what you saying is not making sense. And she told her flat out, you lying to me. Ashley said, if it's anybody that I'm the most transparent with, Giselle, it's you. And the closer and closer I'm getting to moving out, things are becoming more real. And she's now questioning, am I doing the right thing? She said she woke up this morning and she had a craving for Michael. Karen said, look, Ashley, you got your own coin. Okay, you might not can buy a house that you could if you were with Michael. But girl, you good. You have enough to get what you and your children need. And the conversation is cut short because by then, Chris and Candace, they arrive. Everybody's greeting everybody, giving hugs and things. And if not hugs, then elbow bumps, depending on how comfortable you are with the pandemic demi. They're waiting on Robin to get there. In the meantime, Wendy and Eddie shows up. So Wendy, she sees Giselle and she's like, hi, Giselle, how you doing? And Giselle said, are you speaking to me? She leaned all over to the left, honey, like, get back. She got her hand in her ear, got her hand up, and Wendy is like, what's going on? Like, how you doing? And Giselle was like, I'm beautiful. But she's like, but no touching, no hugging, no touching, no touching. Karen is sitting there, mouth open, like, what? Wendy said, okay, bye. She said, bye, and went back into her phone like, girl, bye. What you doing over here? Giselle said, that was the fakest shit I've ever seen. In her confessional, Wendy said Giselle shimmied me off her shoulder like a flea, child. Wendy said, I thought we could have a conversation. In her confessional, Giselle said, girl, please hug me. You spent a year trashing me and my family. And they flash back to when Wendy, Wendy got with her and was like, Giselle, you've been with a man that consistently cheats on you over and over. I mean, she let Giselle have it. I mean, considering the fact, I wasn't mad at it. I really wasn't. Last, we see Mia and Gordon arrive. Girl, Mia is not even there 3 minutes before Giselle takes a sip of her drink, walks over and says, hi, Mia, I would like to talk to you if you have a minute. And then says, so this is what cancer, no cancer looks like? I can't with Giselle. That's why I can't stand her. And said, what does this look like? Looking at her all strange? Like I said, I was pleasantly surprised when Wendy let her ass have it last season. Mia is thrown off. You walk into an event, a party, you ain't even got your jacket off your shoulders and you already being questioned about do you have cancer or not. Giselle said, Karen, did you talk to her about her social media? Karen said, yeah, I did speak to her. I let her know that the ladies had some questions, and Mia said, well, I was being transparent. And Giselle was like, well, I want you to know that we did have some questions because your post changed. You were editing them as though it is against the law to make an edit. You proofread something, you like, oh, you know what? I messed up here. I want to make an edit. Edit don't mean you lying. She said, you seem very look at me like you need attention. Just then, I thought that Mia and Gordon were the last to arrive, but I forgot. Just then Robin walks in. Giselle said, Mia, I was like, I thought you were that girl. I didn't know you were that girl that needed attention. Giselle said, so then why? Why do it? Robin was like, I'm sorry, like, what did I walk in on? You guys were like serious. She talking about, as your friend, I want to let you know, girl, you're not her friend. Stop lying. Because if you were her friend, you wouldn't be bombarding her. You wouldn't be attacking her. You wouldn't be barraging her with all of these questions as soon as she walked in to a spring party event. Not let's go have lunch later, so we can talk and catch up or whatever. So girl, you're not her friend. Quit lying, liar. And she tried to pull Karen in and said, and you agreed. And Karen said, no, I did not agree. Karen said, no, I said I would not have gone to social media. And I did agree. And then Giselle cut her off and said, you said it was weird. No, girl, you said it was weird. That's what you said. How you gonna put your words in somebody else's mouth? Mia said, again, I don't need attention. I was using my platform for a purpose. Giselle said, what was the purpose? And Mia said, you know what? I was hurting. I had just received a phone call that I had cancer and I was broken. Giselle said, they said you have cancer. And Mia said, they said your test results came back and it looks like you have lymphoma. Okay. Mia said, I was going through it. And after crying with my husband, my kids, I'm back and forth in the hospital. It's been very stressful. So for you to say that I did this for attention, fuck you. Okay, here goes Giselle with the confused look. Mia said, talking about my health. I'm talking about my health. Fuck you. And then stands there and looks at her like, now what you got to say now? Giselle ain't got nothing to say. She's stuck on stupid. And the episode ends there. We in for a ride. I can already tell just how this first episode started off. We are in for a ride and I'm ready to go with my seatbelt on. Thank you for joining me. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell button. And until next time, take care. Have a blessed day. Peace.